When you have a check from, let's say, from insurance company paying many invoices, you can process those invoice numbers in batches. Let's take a look at an example. Going to add a check from a, well, let's say actually this is from a law firm. They just settled a big case and they're paying you a big check, Bergsteiner Chapman, and I'm going to say we got a check today for over $26,000, and we'll save the check. Now you can go ahead and process few invoices. I'm going to use the Alt-Y and several checks here. And now after you process several invoices and you go, you know what, it's 12 o'clock, I gotta go to lunch, I'm gonna come back and finish the rest of the invoice numbers. And or you might have to do some more research to find more invoice numbers. Either way, you can actually close out of this screen. Now you notice that at the top grid, if you click on each check, it'll show you all invoices that check is paying. So that check amount showing here, and then you look at the total line, the check amount and total line will agree. So next check, this one, $2,300 and something, and when you click on that check, it'll show 3 invoices that totals to exactly the check amount, and so on. But when you come to this check that I just entered, over $26,000, so far I processed 3 invoices totaling to a little over $3,600. Now after you come back from the lunch and you got 27 more invoices to process, all you have to do is simply use that second grid and say, I got new invoice numbers to enter, so simply click that new button, and then you will basically pick up where you left off, where you can start processing more checks, more invoice numbers apply here until you run out of the money. The unapply amount goes down to 0. Another possibility is that you started to process this particular check later in the day, and you thought you had enough time, but you don't, and you had to go home. So since the unbalanced transactions cannot be posted, for example, at the end of the day, I like to go ahead and post all these checks to finalize them. So I check all, but then I realized that the $26,000 check, I cannot post it because it does not have all the invoice numbers entered yet. So you can simply uncheck that post select box. So you can post every other checks except that one. Or if you wanted to start all over again tomorrow, then you can simply delete the check and say, well, you know, I don't have enough time to process these checks. I'll go ahead and do it tomorrow. So you can just actually delete the check, and then it'll reverse all those invoice transactions back the way it was before. Now, what do you do after you enter all your checks? Well, 2 things. First, you need to go ahead and post all these check transactions. The post means that we are finalizing these check transactions or payment transactions so that nobody can delete them and nobody can change them or alter them. And we'll also make these transactions final in RB8. So to do that, simply after you enter all your checks, go ahead and click this button called Check All. Then it will mark all the checks you entered so far. And once they are all marked, simply go ahead and hit the Post button here. And then checks will be all posted. The second thing you need to do, since you are going to need some kind of a report, what I call daily cash receipts register. They're showing all the checks that are being deposited today, so that when I come back from the bank with a receipt, I can staple that receipt to the back of this register. So I need some kind of a hard copy printout of checks I entered today. So to get that register printed, go to receivables, pull up a function called daily registers, and it'll already have a date parameters in there, enter as of today. So basically on the left hand side it's showing you I want to print registers for posted with the today's date. Simply go ahead and click the search button. When you do that, you'll basically get 3 registered for the sales, which doesn't concern you as an accounting person. So if you click on the second tab, it says cash receipts register payment. And in this case, for each business unit, you will get the register showing the total deposit amount. And the last page will show you the grand total. So you will simply hit the print button to get the hard copy printout of the cash receipts register. Again, to the back of it, when you come back from the bank with a deposit receipt, go ahead and staple that and then save it for the auditing I'm sure your CPA or accountant or auditing department will require you to keep all those registers along with the deposit slip receipts. Now, a lot of you always ask the question, does RB8 have a deposit slip? Now the answer is no, but actually we might have something better. So I'm sure if you processed 100 checks today, the last thing you want to do is write all those check numbers and amount on your deposit slip. So this is what you should do. Go to receivables and back into the payment transaction. Now when you go in there, it usually has that posted as no, but you can go ahead and change that to posted yes, and today's dates come up. You simply go search. Now this will show you all the checks you just entered and posted. And you simply right click on anywhere on the grid and go to print preview and say I want to see all data. And then it'll pull up a little window called print preview, and then simply you will just simply click the print button. Now when you get a hard copy printout of all these checks that has the check date and check number and amount and a total also down here, and that's all you need, and I'm sure you have a deposit slip, and on the deposit slip all you need to write down is the total amount of 4583.17 and simply attach or take along with you this printout, and bank will take this printout of all the checks as your detailed list of checks.